My next patron question is from Trevor, who wanted to know about a current growing trend in movie theaters right now. In recent months, we've seen wide re-releases of movies like Shrek 2, Alien, and The Mummy, just to name a few, that have seen decent success. I know Phantom Events and similar companies have done re-release events in select theaters for years now, but I'm specifically talking about wide releases distributed by the studios themselves. Why do you think these re-releases have had more popularity lately than they have in years past, and do you think studios will expand upon this trend in the coming years? Like Trevor mentioned, I've noticed these re-releases popping up and how they've been able to attract people who are excited to either revisit movies on the big screen or check out ones they've not seen before in that format. While you can obviously watch these at home, there is something different about witnessing them on the big screen. I think part of it does come from the movies chosen for re-release. Shrek 2, for example, holds a lot of nostalgia for people, and audiences want to revisit some of its big moments in the theater. And I'm sure there were also those who wanted to take their children to experience it on the big screen. It does remind me of when Disney re-released The Lion King in 2011, which was incredibly successful. Although in that case, the DVD had been out of print for many years, and so this was seen as a great way for a parent to introduce the movie to their children. I actually saw that Lion King re-release myself because I wanted to take the opportunity to see it in theaters again after so many years, and I was also curious how the 3D conversion looked. I went to see the Toy Story double feature in 2009 for the same reason. Meanwhile, I saw the Titanic re-release in 2012 because I never saw the movie on original release, and I felt that was a film I should see the way James Cameron intended it at least once. And watching it that way did give me a further appreciation for how massive an accomplishment Titanic is. So I'm certain people are going to these re-releases for similar reasons. Curiously, these re-releases seem to become a big thing with the pandemic. With Hollywood delaying several of their major releases, the theaters needed things to show besides Tenet, The New Mutants, and that Russell Crowe movie where he's a rage driver. Some re-releases made sense, like Jurassic Park and The Empire Strikes Back. Although I also remember looking up the showtimes when my local cinema reopened and seeing Grown Ups 2 listed for some reason. Random. The studios themselves also seem to hype these re-releases up. Sony got people really excited with the Spider-Man re-releases that are currently going on. The idea of screening a new movie every week was a clever one, and again, with the nostalgia people have for the Sam Raimi ones in particular, I was not surprised at how well those performed. I think a key element is also the distance from when the movie was last released, and building up that desire to see it on the big screen again, or for the first time. I think that's why the recent Pixar releases of films that went to Disney Plus did not attract many people. Soul, Luca, and Turning Red are still recent in people's memories, and I don't think there was that much demand to see them in theaters after the pandemic led to them being released straight to Disney Plus. After the Lion King re-release, Disney chose to re-release Finding Nemo and Monsters, Inc. While a decent amount of people went to see them for re-release, Disney was disappointed the numbers were down from The Lion King and cancelled a planned Little Mermaid re-release. I don't know why Disney thought those films would reach the same numbers, as the demand was probably far less for a theatrical re-release than with The Lion King. They should have followed up The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast with The Little Mermaid and Aladdin, and then re-released some Pixar films. That long distance from the original release probably played a role in the Star Wars special editions doing well in 1997. The marketing even made a big deal about the fact that for years people could only watch the trilogy on television or on pan and scan VHS. Those re-releases played a major role in getting people excited about Star Wars again, both those who saw the films on their original theatrical run and the children they were now taking to see them. I remember how inescapable Star Wars was in 1997, and the special editions definitely paved the way for the Phantom Menace to be as majorly hyped as it was. It's understandable now, with new Star Wars movies taking a bit of a hiatus, that Disney has been bringing some of the other films back to theaters. Although curiously, the first one remains absent. I was surprised when the new movies were coming out that 20th Century Fox did not re-release the first movie, aka New Hope, in theaters in 2017 for the 40th anniversary. I think that would have done very well. But maybe Disney will decide to do something for the 50th anniversary in 2027. 2001: A Space Odyssey is another landmark science fiction movie I'm surprised is not currently on the calendar for a big re-release. There was a 70mm re-release in select theaters in 2018 that did quite well, and there's probably demand for a wide theatrical reissue of the movie, so that's something Warner Brothers should consider doing. What about you? Are there any classic films you think make sense for a theatrical re-release? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for the question, Trevor.